Let's talk a bit about that Citigroup meeting. I did drop by the meeting in Midtown Manhattan today. It was interesting. You had Vikram Pandit, the CEO, on the stage, surrounded by all of his management team. It wasn't just a Vikram-centric meeting. And he was outlining to a full room of investors, about 340 or 350 of them, but who's counting, the plan for Citi. $400 billion in assets that they are planning to sell, his growth goals. Now, keep in mind that they're going to sell these assets over a longer period of time. It's going to take a few years. Now, the meeting, they took about an hour and 45 minutes worth of questions. Investors had plenty of them. But if a stock, which is down 55% over the past year, is about to rise, I wonder if anyone saw the hints in today's meetings. Let's talk about that. The question that matters most right now to investors is what to do with Citigroup shares after that drop. Bob Olstein is the manager of the Olstein All-Cap Value Fund. He owns more than 1 million shares of Citi. That in his billion-dollar fund, which is enough, Bob, to make you be our Citi lover. Rose Grant, managing director with Eastern Investment Advisors, $2 billion under management. She is our Citi hater. Maybe I'm saying it too strongly, Rose, but you get the point.
I do.
Bob, you're here with us today, I know, for part of our show. Let me begin with you. I know you don't always directly talk to management, but the meeting was today. Everyone has been awaiting this meeting.
He just reinforced what we believe he's going to do. Everybody's picking on him. The Wall Street Journal has a witch hunt out on this man. He's made more decisions in his first 90 days than most CEOs make in 10 years. The man is absolutely not going to cut the dividend anymore. He's raised $40 billion in capital. We believe there's underlying earnings power of $350 in this bank at least, and he said as much today with his return on equity. We think this stock is worth $40 a share. The worst is over, and we salute him cutting the $400 billion and going to return on asset criteria as opposed to owning everything.
Now, it's interesting, Rose. Bob raises a very interesting point. Vikram has been selling assets almost every day. And nobody, has noticed here, but you added up, mortgage assets and the diner's credit card and City Street and leveraged loans. The drumbeat has already started. But it's not enough for you?
No, it's not. I'm really concerned about management risk in here. You've pretty much turned over the entire lead management team, and it's very disruptive when that happens. Most of these people have not worked together. It's a big learning curve for just to learn about the company, learn about the personnel that you're dealing with, learning about the operations, the technology systems. I think there's big execution risk in here.
Well, there's always execution risk, but why should we keep the people who led Citibank down into the hole here? He's brought in top executives who have a lot of experience from other banks around the world. He's kept secondary management. He has top management there. I would have swept them all out myself, and I probably would have done it faster.
It's not even a question of that he's done that may be the right thing to do in the long run. But in the near term, you have to be concerned that none of these people have worked together. They don't know the company whatsoever. It's a big learning curve before you can really make decisions that are really going to benefit the organization.
Well, 24 to 40 is a big jump here in terms of your price. I mean, regardless of your view on the management changes, is this something that happens in 12 months or?
We're looking at a 2-year return here, but what is wrong with an 80% return over 2 years? There's not a lot of stocks out there.
I don't think anyone would cry about that.
And a 5% dividend yield, which is now safe. The capital is now safe. I agree there is going to be a learning curve. But how can the Wall Street Journal say this man is not making decisions when he's made 35 decisions in 90 days, key decisions, and he has that bank already on a stable footing? Now we have to go ahead and go through the learning curve, admittedly.
Rose, what do you think about 2 points that Bob just made there? The stable footing comment and also the comment about the dividend not being cut again.
Maybe with the asset sales coming through, we might not see the dividend cut again. But, the competitors aren't going to stand still while Citigroup goes through this restructuring here. More or less, competitors don't have as many problems as they do. And some of the competitors are able to actually act on some of the turmoil in the credit markets in here. Plus, I think Citigroup's reputation has been tarnished. They've been in the news so much with so many bad things here that, I see their competitors coming in and basically trying to gain market share from them.
I would like to know who doesn't have problems out there. J.P. Morgan has problems. Bank of America has problems. There are no banks out there without any problems. Citibank's reputation is there still around the world. They have done nothing other than they've lost money domestically with these CDOs and CMOs. They are a well-respected international organization. This is nothing more than a witch hunt. There are problems still at the bank. I'm just saying it is discounted, and there is an undervalued security, and the time to buy an undervalued security is when the noise is at its worst. And all I'm saying, it is now discounted, these problems. There are still more problems to solve. By no means, I agree with you 100%. There are more problems to solve, but it is in the price of the stock.
Rose, let me ask you the last question before we go on this conversation. Is there any financial stock that you'd buy?
Yes, we are buying J.P. Morgan in here. They were in a fix-it mode like Citigroup is now, but they're through that. We realize that they have the macroeconomic environment to deal with in here and the credit cycle coming up, but they just don't have as many problems as Citigroup does right now, or many things to be able to fix right now. So we are buying J.P. Morgan.
All right, Rose, thank you so much. Appreciate your being with us.